In this video, I'm going to talk to you about a really important management subject, and that is giving feedback on poor performance. Sometimes in businesses we call it courageous conversations, having difficult conversations. But do we shy away from them? In my previous video, I talked about how to get started in giving feedback, and I said about just focus on catching people doing things well with praise, and then giving them feedback on good performance, on what actions and behaviours have made a difference. I do accept giving feedback on poor performance is a bit more challenging, and if you're fairly new to management, it can be quite a nervous situation. But if you follow this concept that I'm going to talk about, it's going to make life a lot easier, and people will respect you for it. I think people always respect managers who are prepared to have the conversations that matter. And I think dealing with poor performance is definitely up there. So where do you start? The first thing I think you've got to do is, if you have identified someone as not performing as you'd like them to do, is to identify what are their actions, what are their behaviours that are causing concern. Yeah? Do not give feedback on people's personality. The trouble is with you, you've got a bad attitude. The trouble is with you, you're lazy. The trouble is with you, you don't think straight. Now that's just going to turn into an argument, and you're going to get absolutely nowhere. And what you've done is given your perception of their personality. Not a good start. Give factual examples of their behaviour and their actions. You missed the deadline by 2 days. You've been late 3 times. The figures that you've sent to the client are incorrect. They're facts. It's very difficult to argue with them. And once you've established the facts of the behaviour and the actions that they've actually carried out, you're up and running. And that is really sometimes the hardest part. Because the next part, you need to then discuss the impact of their actions, the consequences. By sending that out to the client, by using that inappropriate language, by constantly being late and providing those examples. You can then discuss the impact. Now, sometimes in this we ask the why question. Why have you done this? Be careful of the why question with certain people who are very good at excuses, because that's exactly what they're going to come up with. But if you know someone's fairly new to the job and they're trying hard, or they're having a tough time, you may like to ask the why question. But I would leave it in reserve. I would stick to the facts of the behaviour. I would talk about the impact of their actions. The why, just leave it there just in case you do need it. The fourth thing you then need to establish, and you need to turn this around. When you're giving feedback, don't do all the talking. Get them talking. Because don't go into a lecture. You'll sound like me talking to my son when he was little. And he used to look at me and go, and your point is? Because I used to lecture him, and I think, yeah, what was my point? So involve them in the conversation. You've established the facts of the behaviour and the impact. You could even ask them, what's the impact? But then you need to ask them the question, so how will you resolve this? What will you do next time? How will you overcome this situation in the future? And get them to come up with the solutions. And this is really quite important, because if you just tell them what to do, they're just going to sit there, eyes are going to go up in the air, and they're going to just think, as soon as they finish, sooner I can get out of here, and they're not going to take any of this on board. But if you encourage them to come up with a solution, at the end of it, which is point number 4, you can summarise. And you can confirm what's been agreed, or even get them to confirm what's been agreed, and a review date. This isn't going away. We're going to catch up and discuss how you're getting on with this situation, perhaps in a one-to-one, in perhaps a few weeks' time. Or it may be in a month's time that you're going to review what you've discussed. So it's very important at the end you review what's been agreed and set a date that you're going to review it. And you're going to keep on top of this. This isn't going away. And that is exactly how I'd encourage you to give feedback. Give facts of their behaviour, the impact of their behaviour, Get them to work out a solution of how they're going to resolve this or improve for next time, and then summarise what's been agreed with a review date. You're now starting to take control with these difficult conversations, or courageous conversations, as lots of people like to call them. Whatever you want to call them, have these conversations. People will respect you, will trust you more, and other team members will like it because they'll see, they're taking action on this particular team member. If you need any help with this, get in contact. Give me a shout. If you've got any specific example, is in confidence, be more than happy to have a conversation with you on these and any other management issues as ever, which I'm constantly doing with lots of people. More than happy to have those conversations and have support. So they're the two videos. The first one was about getting started giving feedback on good performance and giving praise, and the second one, which we've just done, is giving feedback on poor performance. Thank you for your time. Get out there and make sure that you're upping your levels of feedback on the good stuff and the not so good stuff. Don't leave it for fester. Procrastination is not a good style of management.